Alright, let's pick it up here. I'm ready for Purgatory, but I'm just gonna show you a few things. Or, let's just go now. What I had to do was I had to unequip all my stellar charts and all the necessary equipment, especially the crucifixes. So at the moment Johnny has equipped Crucifix, the Panoramic Lens, and Coral Pendant. He still has Leo as his stellar chart, and his ring does special attack down. But ultimately it's not going to be very important. And as you can see, everybody's gone. Now, I would have mentioned this before, but that will spoil this. Okay, I'm just gonna change my chart so I have shield and barrier, because every ounce of defense counts. But as I was saying, all the characters seem to... there are 7 characters that you can unlock here, and they all seem to relate to the 7 deadly sins. For instance, Hilda is gluttony because she uses cake and fiber to, or jello to change her body. Mao is greed because she stole money from Capone. Frank is pride because obviously he's acts so sure of himself. Shania's wrath, and that's just plainly obvious. Ricardo's lust, because he likes women, and Nathan is sloth, which makes a little sense because he does quite a bit. Okay. Now this is the Wrath Chamber, or Rage. This is where we unlock Shania, and I recommend going to here first before anything else. This is actually the easiest map to follow, just go forwards. Though later in this video, after I do unlock Shania, things became really difficult and my video ended with the game over. So you can see what happened. Now to unlock each character, we have to fight this. Now fortunately this one is not as tough. It actually has like 900 HP. About as much as Bruce Meow or the Joker. This was a dreadful mistake. It actually uses magic far more often than it does attacks. So it's going to perform a double attack, and it's going to do a lot of damage. But fortunately this could be to my advantage, and that is after a double attack, my turns become a bit more frequent because of the entire shot. Now the Crucifix comes in handy because the debuffs the crests inflict, plus these will also induce some status ring abnormalities. Use a Thera Extract.
Here we go.
Just stay alive. Next, I'm gonna use Barrier to increase my special defense. Now, despite how formidable these things are and how much damage they usually deal, they do have weaknesses. Not just elemental ones. And the weakness for this thing is that it's vulnerable to special attack down. And at the moment I'm using physical attacks more often because then I can inflict the abnormality. Well, not at this time. And I'll tell you which debuffs they are. They're always the ones that the crests usually cast. So in this case it would be special attack down. But I have such a weak special attack down that it's kind of... This is why Crucifix is handy. Don't get hacked. Okay, nevertheless, if I do run out of SP, I'd be a goner. Because without the Flare Brooch, I run out of it like crazy. Okay, shield's gone. The reason my time for going berserk is halved is because, again, I don't have my flare brooch because I want to keep my coral pendant, and above other things, I want to keep the lens, but I have to use these. So, get rid of the flare brooch, so that just makes my going berserk much more frequent. See? Easy. If you do get special attack down 3, I don't know where to get it, but if you do find it, this will be really useful against this boss. Okay, easy. Now at this point, Shania rejoins my party, and she has been a bit messed up because of it. Yeah, that's the sin of anger. Okay. To warn you to get the Snapmaster thing, for the love of God, don't leave this area and try and get out of as much fights as you can. Because if you leave this place, you can't go back. Though you can actually get a second chance. I'm equipping the Crucifix instead of the Dream Porter because I find it a bit more important. But the way you can actually revisit this as many times as you want involves losing to the final boss of this dungeon. This baffles me. I was wondering why I didn't have special defense down 3, and I realized why, and that is because it's equipped to Hilda, and Hilda is trapped in the hell of gluttony. All the enemies here, the minor ones and not the bosses, they're usually called Twisted, Gnawing, or Torment, depending on what kind of sin that the room you enter. And, for instance, next one I'm going to, which is Pride, to unlock Frank, it's going to be Twisted Pride, Torment Pride, and Gnawing Pride. They're going to look very much like enemies you fought before. Now, I've written down where I need to go, so I'm going exactly in the right direction. But this becomes interrupted because I get into a fight where I ultimately cannot win. And you can see why.
I have no choice.
They are much stronger. And they use barrier. They use more buffs. And they also use double combos, which I try not to do, but they do anyways. So basically at this moment I'm screwed. There's nothing I can do. So what I decide to do is actually I stopped recording and got to this point again. So I'll wrap up here and I'll